Hello, I'm Nikita Morel, a copywriter and marketing strategist for architects, and welcome to day 28 of 30 architectural website fixes in 30 days. So today we're going to be looking at why it is so important to include a services page and what you should include to attract the right types of clients. Okay, let's jump right in. So I believe the number one reason why a majority of architects get price shopped or beaten down on fees is that whilst everyone knows what an architect is, they don't actually really know what an architect does. Just think of all the TV shows and movies that feature a character who is an architect. 9 times out of 10, you always see them hunched over a drafting board, holding a T-square, pencil behind the ear, and of course it's always very, very late at night. And I mean, people know architects design and build, but I would argue that beyond that, the public knowledge of what architects actually do is quite limited. And these movies and TV shows are not helping your case. So if you're wondering why you aren't getting a lot of inquiries via your website, then perhaps it's time to take a look at your services page. You need to be telling prospective clients what you actually do. Before I get started, I want to note that an overwhelming number of architecture websites don't even have their services listed or a description of what they do. And if this sounds familiar, I strongly suggest you consider adding a services page. And now I'll tell you why. So let's start with an example, create design and architecture. As you scroll down, this is their services page. You can see they've got a list here. They've said services include architecture, brief development, etc., etc. This is all great, but you need to remember that your prospective clients are not architects, and they may not have ever worked with an architect before. Therefore, they may not know what each of these services mean or include. For example, they've listed architecture. It's just so broad, and I would think it's safe to say that it creates more questions in the mind of your prospective client. And remember, your website needs to be answering the questions that are going through their minds. They're probably asking themselves, okay, so what do you mean by architecture? Or what does brief development actually include? Or down here, what is visualization? And it may seem obvious to you, but your prospective client may have no idea what it means. So Create Architecture would have been better off writing a short description, even just a couple of sentences beneath each service offering, describing what it includes, the process, the benefits, features, etc. And rather just saying down here, it says Create offers architecture services as part of a package or a standalone service. So instead of saying this sentence here, they could have considered adding a call to action. For example, they could have said, don't know which service is best for you? Email Matthew, etc., etc. So remember, people click onto your services page because they want more information. So make sure you give them what they're looking for. And here's another example. So this is Boark. They've got actually a beautiful website. Definitely urge you to go check it out. And so this is their services page. Now again, it's beautifully presented, but it doesn't really tell you much. Here it says under new homes, Boark uses contemporary design thinking and spatial innovation to not delivery homes that will enrich and celebrate the everyday activities of its occupants. It's okay, but I think again, it's just full of buzzwords and I feel like it's very empty. It sounds fine, but it doesn't really connect with a prospective client. I believe they could really improve this by directly addressing the client. So again, this idea of instead of saying of its occupants, say you. For example, we create homes that celebrate your everyday activities. So this again connects straight and speaks directly to the prospective client. And by including details of your services, your prospective clients can feel confident that you and your services are the right fit and also worth paying for. They know where their money's going. Plus, sending an inquiry takes time which I suspect your prospective clients don't have. So if it comes down to you and a competitor, and your competitor's outlining all their services beautifully, it's no guessing who a prospective client will be more inclined to contact. Even if you've got the exact same credentials and all that, it's just transparency and they know what and how you're working. And if you don't feel comfortable outlining all the details, Say that. Tell your clients, if you want to know more about what each of our services include, please send us an email. So again, it's that idea of honesty and transparency and directing them to do and take the action that you want. So you're probably wondering by now, well, okay, fine, but what should a service page include? And it does differ for every firm, but here are 5 things which I believe every service page should include to ensure that you are attracting the right types of clients and filtering out the wrong ones. Number 1, start with a subheading. So don't try and lump all your services together. Make it easy for the prospective client to differentiate between your various services, unless of course you just have one offering. Number 2, write 1 to 2 sentences outlining a top-level view of what you do and the unique value you offer. Remember, that's your value proposition or your elevator pitch. Number 3, include 3 to 5 bullet points of specific features and benefits of your service offering. For example, you could say, we build models to help you visualize your design so you can feel confident that the end result is exactly what you had in mind. So again, you've said the feature, which is model making, and the benefit, which is them feeling confident in your practice and that you'll get the best result for them. So stick to details that are relevant for your reader and don't overwhelm them with details at this point. You just want to give your prospective client enough information and make sure that the language you use is easy and accessible. Number 4, write 1 to 2 sentences on what qualifies you to offer these services. For example, something specific like an award or a certification or a number of years of experience and why that benefits the customer. So this is your chance to tell them why they should trust you. And finally, number 5, offer proof. So this goes back to testimonials, but testimonials are a great way to build trust, and prospects are more likely to inquire when they see that other people have had a positive experience, particularly when those people have had something in common with them. So when your prospective client finishes reading your services page, they decide what to do next very quickly, whether it's read another page, go back to your home page, subscribe to your newsletter, or even leave your page to check out a competitor. So be sure to include a call to action or contact form at the bottom of your services page. You want to prompt your prospective clients to take action then and there. And before I go, I want to quickly share with you this great example. So this is In Between Architecture. So this is their beautiful services page. And what I love about this page is it steps the prospective client through their service offerings by directly addressing the questions going through their minds. So it starts with the question, don't know where to start. Getting started is sometimes the hardest part. We know clients often consider and reconsider their options for over a year before making contact with us, etc., etc. So I guess what is so great about this is that it really addresses the pain point, this idea of feeling overwhelmed. As a prospective client reading this, you'd be like, oh my goodness, they get me, they get what I'm feeling. And again, this leads to a sense of trust in this firm. So to create compelling service copy, you really need to understand your prospective clients. You need to do a bit of research. Find out what they really need as well as what frustrates them, what complaints and questions they have when working with architects. For example, In Between Architecture identified that perhaps prospective clients are frustrated by not being able to make decisions because they don't have all the information. So they've directly addressed this in their copy. As you can see here, in each case, it is difficult to make an informed decision when you don't know point 1, point 2. Very, very clever way of doing it is really, really answering their questions in their heads. Immediately, as a prospective client, you feel seen and understood and heard. And as you scroll down, again, it takes you through concept design, getting the information you need. And then again, concept design service typically includes, and it's a very detailed list, a site visit, client brief. So as a prospective client, you're just getting more and more trust in this firm, and you get a really good feeling that these guys know what they're doing and they'll do a good job. So it's eliminating all these gaps and questions in your mind. So there you have it. Don't underestimate the power of describing your services. At the end of the day, what you do matters. Don't fall into the trap of borrowing quote unquote sentences from other architecture websites or writing generic jargon-loaded service descriptions. Use your services page to showcase what you exactly do, and then sit back and watch the high-quality leads flow in. And if you're having difficulty writing your website services page, you're not alone. Sometimes you're just too close to it. So let me help you. Send me an email at hello@nikitamorel.com. And please be sure to tune in for tomorrow for day 29. Today we looked at what you do. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at how you do what you do. So it's a good one, I promise. Tune in. Thanks.